Well, good morning. Time now is 6:19. We're looking outside at our hurricane barrier camera, of course, showing you the highway here, 195 right here in Providence. Quiet weather right now. We're looking at dry conditions, cloudy skies, but we're looking at the, rain and the wind not too far away. Our storm system still to the south, and you can see that, area of moisture tracking northward here. That will arrive late this morning and into the afternoon. So if you want to, maybe run some errands this morning before the rain begins, I would recommend doing that. Otherwise, you'll be dealing with the rain in the afternoon hours and some gusty winds as well. So close-up view, again, we're dry, but a lot of clouds out there. They will continue to be building on in. Out ahead of that rainfall, New Bedford, quiet, dry out there right now. Temperatures in the 50s across the board, 55 in Providence, 56 in Newport. So here's the weather situation going on here. No wind alerts here across Rhode Island and Bristol County. However, we still could be looking at some pretty gusty winds coming our way. High wind warning, though, issued for Block Island and also Martha's Vineyard and out towards Nantucket. Wind advisory for coastal Connecticut and also the Cape. So you can kind of see around us, we're looking at those advisories and warnings issued. Now, I still think we'll be looking at some pretty gusty winds, 35 to 45 miles per hour in the yellow, so more so interior areas. Down to the coastline, gusts to 50 miles per hour are possible. And I mentioned, of course, Block Island and Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket in that high wind warning. They could actually see gusts as high as 60 miles per hour. Keep in mind, we're still early in the season in terms of the leaves on the trees. So when you get some rain on them, the wet leaves are heavier and certainly could cause some issues on some branches falling. So isolated power outages are certainly possible as a result of this. However, looking at also the coastal flood advisory issued for our coastline here. This is for the high tide cycles for Monday. There's one late tonight, early tomorrow morning around 1 a.m. Then again 2 p.m. in the afternoon. That's when we're looking at potential for some coastal impacts such as that. So here are those high tides, by the way. You can see all across the area. There was the times there listed on the screen. So coastal storm arrives again by this afternoon with some rainfall. We should start out on the lighter side first, then it'll pick up in intensity as it goes on. 1 to 3 inches of rain still expected by the time we get to Tuesday morning. Strong wind gusts, as I just showed you on that map, more so towards the coastline. Isolated wind damage is certainly possible as a result of this. Again, with all the leaves on the trees, it won't take a lot of strong winds to cause some problems, especially if there's some weaker branches out there as well. Coastal flooding, as I showed you as well, is one of the concerns. Let's time things out. We'll show you when the rain begins and, as it continues. So 11 a.m. thinking we'll see some, fringe rainfall here on the coastline approaching from the south. And then as we go through the early afternoon hours, it does overspread the area. Notice the yellows also making their way onshore. That's some of those heavier rain bands pushing on in. This is now this evening. Again, rain continues later on. And as that rain picks up in intensity, the wind will also pick up in intensity as well later on tonight and overnight. So again, downpours, maybe some thunder as well overnight into Monday morning, 6 a.m. Still seeing the rain, again, just waves of it pushing onshore all the way through the daytime hours here. It continues into the afternoon and even into the evening. So this is a prolonged storm, a long duration storm, if you will. It's going to be lasting at least until Tuesday morning. So I mentioned those strong winds, a moderate chance for some power outages later on today. Really, again, focusing on the coastline, we'll be looking at an east-northeast wind gusting as high as about 50 miles per hour at times. So here's that 7-day forecast for you. And again, we are looking at this system to be lingering through early Tuesday. And then we do dry things out for Wednesday and Thursday. But again, be weather aware later on today and for Monday with the rain and the wind. It's not a major storm by any means, but certainly, given the timing with the, holiday weekend, people will be traveling and also, of course, with the leaves still in the trees, watching for some power outages to be at least a potential there.
Yeah, and that's why we got to get over to sports because if you got a generator, you may have to use it to keep that game on.
Watch football today.
Yeah, great day for it. Thank you, Stephen. Come up next on 12 News.